This week, a serious question. Who charted?
Get off of Chris. What are you doing?
I would, my hair, yes,
hair
fully erect. That would be my hair thing.
I first heard her, I thought she was a guy when she was rapping.
We're never going to get to talk to each other. Let's do this. Let's go rock and roll shopping.
Wait, does that really work?
Cuddling.
Right.
Can you,
pod-cuddling.
Pod-cuddling.
Tell that a girl's not into it.
Yeah, it's a dude.
It's an all-new PodCRASH right now! Welcome to the show, folks. This is PodCRASH with me, that Chris Gore, and this is the show where you get a sampler platter of other podcasts, where you get to hear me as a guest on all kinds of different podcasts. You get to discover them, so to speak, through me, actually, as the guest on all of these shows. And today we've got a great one, Who Charted? I cannot wait. Before we get to that, there's a reason my voice sounds this way. I'm returned from Comic-Con, and this is con voice. This is what happens when I talk too much, which is actually often, but even more often when I'm at a place like Comic-Con, it was amazing this year. I mean, like, I always go, there's certain things I always do. I look for the one thing I need that I don't have, the one thing I need that I don't have that I have to have. I think I found it. I got one of those weird Japanese body pillows. You know, they call it the girlfriend or boyfriend pillow because, I'm sleeping alone and getting used to that. And so a pillow is it's my replacement. It's my surrogate girlfriend of the moment. So that was an interesting purchase. And in addition, got some really cool T-shirts, and just the panels were great. First of all, including the live PodCRASH, which you're going to hear in a couple weeks. We're not going to run it right away. We got to add some stuff to it. We have to put it into some context. So it was bizarre, and it went over incredibly well. And our special guest was Kevin Pereira, which a lot of people found out. Maybe you found out from the internet, but yeah, Kevin was the big special guest on the show where we went for the world record of the most podcasts crashed at Comic-Con. It was great, but my voice is still not coming back. And in addition, I'm recording this podcast out of my new apartment, which is, I don't know when I'm going to get this. You know what? You're just going to have to live with some of the sounds. I've got a couple of neighbors that think they're going to try out for American Idol or America's Got Talent or something. They're just amateur singers. Then I've got people there's yard work all over the place. Then I've got someone's building a car or something. I don't know what they're doing, but there's a lot of grinding in one of the backyards. So you know what? Whatever. You're going to hear some noises every once in a while. It'll just be slightly off in the distance in the background. It will not disturb our conversation. So Comic-Con was a huge success with the live show. We did something a little different than we've done for other live shows. And speaking of that, we have some upcoming shows. I'm going to be doing Glory Stories with Justine Jolie, actually. It's a show where I interview an adult film actress, and then improv comedians come out and reenact things inspired by what she says in the interview. It's weird and fun. That is Glory Stories with Justine Jolie is Friday, July 27th at 11 p.m. at IO West, 6366 Hollywood Boulevard. You can get tickets at ioimprov.com/west. Also, I'm going to actually be a guest on Keith and the Girl. If you're a fan of the Keith and the Girl podcast, which I was on previously, they really liked me. They said I was among the best guests they've ever had, along with Mark Maron, which I take that as a compliment. I'm going to take it as a compliment. I hardly brag. You know what? Do I hardly brag about myself, or do I brag about myself too much? Someone via our Twitter at PodCRASH Show. I feel like I'll brag in a fake way, but then I have low self-esteem in other arenas. Anyways, so I'm a guest on Keith and the Girl. That's Saturday, August 11th at 7 p.m. at Meltdown Comics on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. You can go to keithandthegirl.com for details on that. And then also, this is big news, folks. This is big news. We are now doing monthly live shows. PodCRASH will be live every month at IO West, starting Saturday, August 18th at 7:30 p.m. at IO West. That's 6366 Hollywood Boulevard. And you can get tickets to the very first PodCRASH live with me at ioimprov.com/west. I'm also going to be giving away some tickets too. But in order to find out how to win those tickets, you're going to have to listen to the end of the show. Okay. And then also some of you actually inquired like, hey, would you do your show like live, like in Connecticut or New York, or I will do it wherever. As long as I can get an audience that will just, pay for the travel. And just enough of an audience. I think Paul F. Tompkins does that brilliant thing where he does the Paul F. Tompkins 300, where he gets 300 people to show up for a show to promise they're going to go there. That's enough to cover his expenses, and he actually makes a little bit of money, and he deserves it. I love Paul F. Tompkins. He is. I think he's. I think he's one of the best hosts I've ever seen, ever. I've seen him when he does the Amy Mann shows, which you've never seen the Amy Mann Christmas show. I've seen every single one. It's brilliant. And the great thing about those is you can see the Paul F. Tompkins. He's in some of the videos that they do with Amy Mann, and they do these sort of wraparound videos to the Christmas variety show where it's like comedy and improv, little vaudeville stuff, and then Amy, of course, doing her music, and then she does duets with other musical acts that come out and whatnot. It's an amazing show, but the videos that accompany those shows, those Amy Mann Christmas shows, are on YouTube. So look up the Amy Mann Christmas show, Paul F. Tompkins. Those keywords will get you to those videos, and they are hysterical. And that reminds me, we have a YouTube channel now. That's right, PodCRASH. If you just go to YouTube and look up username PodCRASH TV, we'll be posting videos from some of the live shows, including our recent one at the San Diego Comic-Con, which was a blast. Let's get to this week's Crash, this is one of my favorites. I love a show. I've said this before. I love a show that has a purpose, has a point of view. We're the show that talks about this, and we interview people about this, has a specific point. Who Charted is a show starring Howard Kremer and Kulap Vilaysack. I'm probably saying that wrong. I should listen to the beginning of their podcast where they introduce themselves. Anyways, Kulap and Howard are the hosts of the show, and what they do is every week, really simple. They get sort of the top charts, whether it be like in movies or music. It's pretty much movies and music. And then what they do is they will dissect those charts. They play a little bit of the music, and they play a little clip from the movie, and then they talk about those movies. And they kind of dissect it. They'll give a little bit of a review, but a little insight. They have commentary about it, and of course, they're both comedians, so it's funny. And I have been, I don't know Kulap, but I know she's, she is in a relationship with Scott Aukerman. Who I am a huge fan of his work. But Howard, I knew from not only his stand-up, because I've done shows with him, although I don't think he would remember, but Howard was on one of my favorite shows, Scare Tactics, on Sci-Fi Channel. That show, it was now someone's mowing their lawn near me. You're just going to have to deal with it. You could probably just hear it, but you'd have to have a really good headphones to be able to hear this. Anyways, so Howard's on the show Scare Tactics, which I happen to love because he was one of the actors on the show. First of all, never broke character, and he did this sort of creepy scare, so he was always playing serial killers. He'd always be some serial killer or a guy who showed up to fix the plumbing, and then you discovered a body, and oh god, he was great. So it's weird how he could do this deadpan creepy humor on that show, and then just also be just so hilariously funny. And Who Charted, if you're not a regular listener, is it's just a fun way of looking at the it's like those Dick Clark when you would do the countdown like that. It's like that, but it's a way more fun way of doing it. And they also have interesting guests on, and they sort of put me to the test where they do this little Q&A, which I didn't I guess at the beginning I thought it was embarrassing. All the questions are about me. And I'm thinking, why are they asking this? And then it's about me because I'm the guest on the show. Sometimes I space out because sometimes, I'm such a fan of the people whose shows I'm appearing on that I get a little, starry-eyed there. I mean, these the work. So that's I spaced, but I think it's hysterical. I think you will really enjoy this. And Who Charted? Put that in the regular thing. Subscribe and download and listen to it. After you hear this episode. Okay, so here it is. Myself, Howard Kulap, and Who Charted? We'll find out. my move is always to be confused, and confused will get me into parties. It'll get me. Sometimes I'll get girls' numbers by just being confused.
Work that on me.
Do you like,
Let's try it on me.
Should
I try that technique?
Yeah, I'd love to see this.
Okay.
Well, but see, we have to get past the point of like ignoring, because the whole thing is like there was an article in. A lot of articles actually have been written about this, about how the number one thing that attracts a woman to a man is being ignored.
Okay.
Right? So that is that's the number one. If you ask women, like, what is the thing that attracts you to a man? Ignore me. And what I would do is, here's what my move is. I'm kind of dissect the process while I'm going. I would come up to you and say, first of all, and this is not a lie, that is a super cute top. I love that top on you. It looks so good. That's amazing. I mean,
wow.
I got to say thank you. Now, what I've done is, first of all, she's not wearing a top. I'm an idiot. She's wearing a dress. But also, top is a term that men never use the word top. They say, this is my shirt.
Right.
Yeah, that came out.
Several things happened when I just did that. Is because I called it a top, you knew I made a mistake, but I was cute. So I was trying. It's like I show flaws.
Okay.
It's like, oh, but he's trying.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
That was a project, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like she's thinking like, oh, he tried. He's a cute top.
Yeah.
And then I would start talking about like other stuff, like stuff that's it depends on what the setting is, but I would also mention like, those shoes are amazing. Those shoes, incredible. First of all, match the outfit. Great.
Thanks.
But secondly, like, I would love...
Kulap, get off of Chris. What are you doing?
I would love to, if first of all, love to get your number, and I would like to... I don't want to go out on a date with you because I think that's too normal. And if we went dinner and a movie, we're never going to get to talk to each other. Let's do this. Let's go rock and roll shopping.
Wait, does that really work? That third?
Here's what I'll do. Well, this is
because I was
an
with you.
hour later. No,
it's an hour later. Okay,
I'm cutting out the middle of small talk.
And he has $3,000 in his hand.
We're talking about surroundings. We're talking about this. You're evaluating. Also, I would never.
Are you going and coming back too, or you?
No, it's sort of a we'll sidle up, and then maybe the girlfriends will come over, like, and like, oh, and do I need to get saved? Do you need to save us from him?
Got it.
The dudes will be like, I don't know, man. She's a 9. You think you're out of your league? Stay with me. So I've already cut to the end of the conversation. Small talk between now and then. But at the end, I would ask for your phone number because guys never ask for phone numbers now. They're too afraid.
Yeah.
And I would say, I actually want to go out with you. Don't say I want to hang out because that's pussy. That's not... Hangout is what people say. Even like people who are dating are like, we just hang out, and then somehow my penis goes inside her. That's not hanging out.
That's Howard's move.
Not that doesn't work.
Only worked 80 times.
I'm saying women respect more when you're direct, and I'm not saying I'm good at that. I'm saying that that other people are awful. Most men are jerks, and the thing is that they just aren't empathetic. So if I actually felt that you didn't like me, I would not waste my time then. I would not. I would move on because I think you'd think like, oh, this guy annoys me. I'm not into his physical type. He sounds like a jerk. His friends look like idiots. I hate his jacket. I could get that vibe from you, and I would walk away.
Okay.
Not as a way to ignore you, but as a way to go, I feel that she's not into me, and this has to be mutual.
Now, a lot of guys don't have that gene where they could tell that a girl's not into it.
Empathy is not a male trait generally. But,
I have.
Yeah. Like,
all right, Howard.
I have emotional intelligence.
Okay.
But that also comes from being an artist. I mean, being in a creative field, like you as a host, as doing stand-up and doing crowd work, as scaring the crap out of people, just as an actor, like those are skills that you would develop, but you're using them for good, not evil, I'm going to assume.
No, I do, always.
And Chris,
I just don't use them.
So what I'll do...
When you maybe disengage, there's also a chance that she's like, oh, not expecting it, and there's a chance she might start to re-engage you if you start to back off, right?
I want her to want me, otherwise why would I don't want to force a situation. I feel like guys do that, and that
they do.
that pushes girls away. There'll be signs that I'll notice. For example, if you put your foot on my chair, we're at bar stools, you put your foot on my chair, I'm in. I am so in if the foot goes on the bar stool. And then I would sort of end by saying, typical date is boring. Let's do this. Let's do rock and roll shopping. I like to get drunk and go to Target or do something fun like that. So we would maybe get some drinks and appetizers, not full dinner, because also eating is very intimate. And I feel like when you're first getting to know someone, a girl's always going to get a salad, and a dude is going to get something that won't be stuck in his teeth.
Right.
So you're not even in the physical space. Maybe there's butterflies, you're a little nervous, you don't want to eat. But what I'll do is we'll have drinks, margaritas,
Ooh.
and then we'll go to DSW, right? And
shoe.
because shopping is foreplay for girls,
That's right.
and it's fun.
We're talking
Right.
Hollywood here.
And
I'm
do you
seeing
spend any
Sunset.
cash? Will you spend some cash on this trip? Do you buy them clothes?
Are you buying them shoes?
No,
Okay.
because that implies a different type of relationship,
Right.
which I think is, I'm not going to be a sugar daddy, you
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah. Right.
but the whole thing is like, with me is like, I look for traits in a girl. It's easy to have a good time doing something fun. We're at the club. We're at Disneyland. We're at blah, 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 having fun.
Yeah.
That's easy. Can you have fun in a non-fun situation? Can you have fun going to Target? Can you have fun folding laundry? Can you have fun cuddling?
Right.
Can you
Pod-cuddling.
Pod-cuddling. So I look for those traits in a girl because then it's like, oh, this is going to be more than just boning because I feel like I need a woman who can give me a brainer. When I say brainer, I mean like I have to have a woman who stimulates me intellectually speaking. I want to be able to have a conversation with her. But intellectually, look, let's not go too far. I mean, I'm talking about like we could sit and talk about, the Doctor Who from the 70s versus the recent Doctor Who. We could talk about the Star Wars prequels. We could talk about travel. We could talk about whatever. Just there's got to be other topics that you can discuss because I feel like you're only having sex for a certain amount of time if you're in a relationship with someone. You have to have those other times where there have to be other discussion topics. Can't just always be about the boning. I have to feel stimulated there. If I can't connect there, I can't. It's just I think I'm wired like a chick. I think I really am wired like a chick. I think that's really what I mean by brainer is it's something I have to have so that I'm constantly just meeting girls that I feel like you're hot, but you're not that, you got nothing. We can't talk. So it's already doomed to fail. So, and then I feel like the reason this keeps coming up in some of these other podcasts I'm doing is because this breakup is so fresh for me. So it comes up, and I'm trying to avoid talking about it. But the whole thing with Who Charted is not about. I mean, it's just a conduit to talk about other things, whatever's going on in people's lives. So sure, it's about the charts, it's about movies and TV and music and all that stuff. But it's just a conduit to talk about other things, and I happen to talk about girls. Now back to Who Charted with Howard Kremer and Kulap Vilaysack. If you listen to bands like Maroon 5, which I do not, or if you listen to bands like Silver Sun Pickups, which I do, I thought the Silver Sun Pickups singer was a female, and having seen them now a couple times in concert,
Definitely
it's a guy. It's a guy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you could be accurate. I'm listening to it going, it's something in the cadence, like let's find. Can we?
You got that high voice. You're an authority.
Yeah, I got a little high.
Look it up.
Let's fact check that.
But
You know who the
I think you
opposite
could
was? Lauryn Hill. When I first heard her, I thought she was a guy when she was rapping.
I could. Yeah. If I hadn't seen her and known that it was her, I could see that. I also wanted to say that it charted number 17, Billboard 200, number 6 in rock albums.
Nice.
My computer's
They're
very
from Orlando.
slow.
Currently residing in Grand Rapids. Kind of strange.
I'm very familiar with Grand Rapids. I used to work there. Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, what'd you do there?
I worked for a company called AMG, is the All Media Guide, and it was allmovie.com, and I helped build that website along with allgame.com. I know, weird aside, but yeah, so it's a company that provides data. Okay, this is the dumbest company. When you are flipping through your TV guide, the digital version,
Right.
They write the descriptions.
Oh, those blurbs.
Those little blurbs. I was writing those, and I hired a team to write them, and we had to, basically it's a media guide for everything. All that data is provided in various forms. So you had the TV guide version, which was very short. Then you had sort of various links that they had to provide. And people.
Well, you did a terrible job. I read those things, and they're not accurate.
But hilarity ensues came from that. Hilarity ensues. That's the best two words. But when I listen to pop music now, like what we just heard, first of all, I love the name. That if My Life for a Movie, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the song. It's. I feel like pop music is like, here's the music I don't listen to at all. You know, it's.
That's
like,
true.
Here's the music.
It's a cover though, right?
Right. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't wanna. Is it?
Yeah, it's a cover.
Of what? Goo Goo Dolls?
Yeah, it goes everything.
Oh yeah, that's Goo Goo Dolls, and they were a very rippy-offy of the Replacements. Paul Westerberg, is my opinion.
But it's really interesting to hear that. I don't know if maybe that was the best song, because if they're a post-hardcore band, that's what they are. That song is not very representative. That might have been just something they did for fun.
Right, but what is post-hardcore? What does that mean?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. What does that mean? Oh, so that could be light music, right?
I guess so.
I don't know.
Wait, did you find, is he the guy? Let's, your wager is it's a guy.
I'm actually siding with you because I think that it's possible. It's also not, it's not something you would expect.
Right.
Could be a dude.
Could be a dude.
And singers that have those kind of voices too, I think are desired by women in the same way that it's like they want to be with
them.
They want to be with them. It's sort of like that's why the pretty boy hair farmer metal bands, the feminized ones, get the girls.
Right.
Yeah, it's a dude.
D. Snyder.
It's a dude.
Oh my God. You were right.
And check out his wife. Right. Holy cow. His wife's hot.
Let me see.
They look like they could be twins.
Yeah, also that too.
Yeah. They're not going to last. That's a Jack White, Karen Olsen.
Well, they had a baby. They had a baby.
Oh, the baby's going to last. Baby's going to be around for a while.
Let's hear the second album. Let's see how dark those songs get.
All right, moving up to number 4, Memphis Mayfire with Challenger. It also charted number 16 in the Billboard 200, number 5 in rock albums, number 3 independent albums.
That don't sound original to me. That sounds like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to come down hard on these guys.
I agree. It definitely does sound like sort of old school. I'm first of all glad to even hear a song that even sounds like that can make it in the top. That's
true.
But
That's
it's also
a good point.
Good call.
That's a different rating. That's what would you say? This indie alternative, or what is that one?
No, this is still within the Billboard alternative albums.
Billboard alternative. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
These guys they're out of Dallas.
What else do we know about them?
Basically, they're supposed to be real young, exciting, and dangerous.
Oh. Are they cute boys? Is that also... They look like One Direction?
I have no picture of them, but the lead singer's a girl.
Okay, well...
What?
That's a...
you.
No, but so, I mean, first of all, what you just said was very funny about this. In your description of the band, you described exactly how I feel about a lot of bands, and especially having interviewed musicians. Sometimes I get hired to do gigs, and I've interviewed musicians. Not a lot of them have a lot to say. There's a reason I think that there's been an explosion of, comedians doing podcasts because comedians have opinions and can talk about things, and it doesn't matter if it's intelligent. It doesn't matter if it's factually accurate. Is it funny? Musicians, not as many podcasts. Not as many musicians doing podcasts.
Right, they need the music behind them.
The music behind them, and I feel like they're just so focused on. This is also a skill that I don't have, although I can sing expert on Rock Band, worthless, but... Okay, I don't play Rock Band so much anymore. I mean, that game's it's fallen out of rotation, what can I say? But it's my dad, who is a singer, actually taught me how to, some exercises and how to actually pitch my voice. So I can't sing, but I can reach a certain pitch, and then that tricks the game into thinking that I can sing. So... I'd say that the hardest songs to sing are like anything by Boston. I mean, just like any male with a high pitched voice. I can actually fake the females. Like I can sing anything by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, but if it's a high pitched guy's voice, I'm out, man. It's tough. Although I did along with my good friend Mark Bell from Film Threat. You should listen to his podcast too. We did the Endless Playlist together, which was amazing. It was like one of those things we prepared for. It was an all-day thing. It took us like 7 hours, even though if you just did it like time-wise, I think it's like 3.5, close to 4 hours. But we took some breaks, and we ended up getting the achievement. The drag is though, now that I've moved my Xbox around a bunch of times, the game got corrupted. So I don't even have the game and those characters anymore, but I do have that achievement. It's sort of a non-achievement. It means you played Rock Band too much. All right, back to who charted. I just like to see a movie spoiler-free, and I feel that sense of discovery is something that's been lost in a lot of modern films because they're so trying to get you to the theater, so desperate. I feel like I feel like the movies have become the desperate guy trying to hit on you that is not going to get your number.
And they give away everything and spew it out. And
here's this and it's like, no, it's like you're coming off too desperate. And I feel in a way the movies have become like a TV channel I used to like. It's really hard to get me to go to the theater these days because everything is built on a pre-existing franchise book, a comic book that's 70 years old. You got to have a really unique approach, and it's also because it's so expensive to release movies. Savages, I looked at the marketing. I looked at Oliver Stone. His track record of late with that Alexander the Great and Anything Post has just been a mess. And I feel it's also sometimes when you give someone complete creative control, it's not always a good thing. David Lynch being a good example. I think certain artists can be better restrained, you know, like you mean you're not going to let me do this, then I'll figure a way around it, and then it actually forces them to be creative.
Right, those limitations make them creative. Absolutely.
Exactly.
To make 16.2
so that was a really
weekend, and for it to be the production budget to be 45.
That's not so good. Yeah, but it's also like the longest thing you might ever hear about something, a movie I have not seen at all, but I'm coming from the perspective of I wasn't even interested to see it, and I'm sure I could have gotten into a screening of it. Just no interest in that film.
No, it's passé. Seems like like that song from before. It seems like something from 10 years ago.
I feel like the brutalizing is just something that is a turnoff to me, like stuff where, you know, that sort of ironic, and I'm so glad this isn't as much a thing, but like, let's play the love song while someone's being raped.
I hate that.
I hate that it's like it's an indie film cliche, and it's irritating, and I feel that like, I feel certain filmmakers can be in a bubble where they're not aware that certain things are just, it's not in the zeitgeist, right?
Right. I don't find that entertaining either. I would like to say this. Jennifer Lawrence, who we know from the Hunger Games, she was originally cast in the Blake Lively part, but she dropped out to go do Hunger Games.
Oh.
Smart move.
I like that. That's when it works out. Like, I don't know, there was some thing online this week about somebody turned down Pretty Woman. That's how Julia Roberts got it.
Yeah, who was that? I can look that up.
So that's a backfire. But getting out of this to go do Hunger Games, that's a good move. I figured that out myself.
Steady at number 3, Brave.
Leaders must prove their worth. Merida, stop! A lady enjoys elegance.
All right. Worldwide, it so far has made $211.1 million. Production budget, $185 million. This weekend, it made $20.2.
Have you seen this, Chris?
To keep going with the trend of today, I have not seen this.
Not indie enough for Chris Gore.
We're sort of in this weird scene. I have my advance tickets for Dark Knight Rises also. I'm pumped for that. It takes a lot now to get me to the theater, and I have so much stuff to watch on DVD. And the Pixar movies, I've just heard about this one, that it is kind of by the numbers. It is like, I feel like now there's become a formula, and the formula is becoming apparent. It's just what I've read.
Oh, actually, I thought you're saying not a parent, a parent.
Right, exactly. It's becoming apparent.
Yeah, because that is what it
right.
is. I saw this, I liked it, but it is very. It definitely is a throwback to just simple like fairy tale storytelling. There's nothing.
Hero's Journey, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Joseph Campbell thrown in there. Little Horatio Alger.
Little John Ratzenberger.
Yeah, little princess stuff. Yeah, John Ratzenberger. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
What?
It was Molly Ringwald, who was originally cast as Pretty Woman.
What happened? She didn't want to do it?
Didn't go that deep.
That would have been a different movie.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, too. It's not like she missed out on maybe kicking ass with that movie. It might not have been a big movie if she was in it because it was miscast.
Okay, she turned it down because she wasn't comfortable with the script's tone and content.
Right, because it's a cartoon about a whore.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like what you're saying. That's not realism. That movie is. No. That's movie time.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, a couple streets over, we can go down Santa Monica and we can see some of the real life of that.
Right. Are you saying Soderbergh hangs out on Santa Monica?
He could. Yeah, that would be the more realistic approach.
We're talking Santa Monica Highland. We're talking about
yes. So you guessed the area. Yeah.
His next movie is about that storage facility where all the trannies walk up and down.
That would be a great remake, is to actually do it like it's real, or
that is a good idea.
Like
gritty Pretty Woman.
Yes, or just just something like the director Rainer Werner Fassbinder famously made this romance. He wanted to make a romance film. He's a guy that this guy made 9 feature films in a year. He also died at the age of 32 from doing too much cocaine. Ooh. But Fassbinder made a film called, I believe it's called Ali Fear Eats the Soul, and it's about he wanted to make a difficult romance. A 50-year-old white woman has sex with a 30-year-old black man who's just a worker. And they have this sort of touching romance. He wanted to have the most sort of different 2 types of people, right, and have them come together. It's not so much a comedy; it's a tragic drama. But I like to see. I think that's risky. I think that kind of indie filmmaking is more risky. It's something like Harold and Maude, right. That was Hal Ashby, which is, in the 70s. I feel like they took the kind of risks with studio movies that indie films take now. But indie films now being kind of a genre, and I feel the public's been burned too much by too many bad indie movies. It's like bad improv. It happens.
There you go. It happens. And
bringing it back to our conversation that didn't happen, but we didn't get it recorded, actually.
Oh, wait, but you discussed it with Matt Besser on his show.
Yeah, Matt Besser discussed it on Improv for Humans. We had it was a very polite debate where I believe I lost. I'm going to say I lost.
Yeah, but it was his show.
It's his show. But he opened my eyes to some things, and he was great. He was awesome. But then we got in our whole improv conversation before we started recording, which I thought was great.
A lot of people don't know I'm an expert at improv.
You are?
Yeah.
For what you did, oh man, you have to be, and that's different. That's a more dangerous kind of improv, I felt.
Oh, the scare tactics stuff.
Yeah.
Falling from the top spot and landing at number 2, Ted.
Hi, Apple. I'm Seth MacFarlane. You know how you always do what the internet tells you to do? Well, now it's telling you to go see my new movie,
This weekend it made $32.6 million. Worldwide, it's made $135.2 million. Production budget of $50 million. Ted. I saw this.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
Someone who has seen the movie should actually
talk about it.
I'm just trying to sound smart movie-wise and with little clever asides.
Howard, have you seen now? Where we are, you've promised the people.
Oh yeah, 12 summer movies.
You have seen 3.
I've seen 3. I'm stepping it up.
Yeah, because there's been months now between the last time you've seen a movie.
I saw Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, you're right.
Like a week and a half ago. But I'm going to see something this week. I'm not sure who with yet.
Okay.
It'll be a former guest of the show.
Uh-huh.
And I'm excited. This is not going to be what I go see.
I still stand. I know a lot of people like this movie. I know my sister, as fans know, is Anita, and she loved it.
Right.
I, really liked the movie up top, and then I turned on it like it did something to me.
They betrayed you. That's what I was afraid of. They would betray me.
Is that because of the end, or is it because you started thinking about it after? Because that's what happened to me with Prometheus. There's some stuff that was enjoyable. At the end, I walked out. But the more I talked about Prometheus, the more I despised it.
No, It was during the movie. I literally sat there. I'm like, oh, this is pretty funny. And then around the half, I just turned on the movie. I'm like, what is this? This is not enjoyable.
Is it like
sensibility-wise?
Sensibility, or just the movie itself? It started to move into to being about Mila Kunis and Mark Wahlberg, and then to me, what was interesting, the dynamic was with Ted and Mark Wahlberg. So they got split up, and then there was 2 separate movies happening. And then also, I'm not a huge Family Guy fan. That's what I remembered that. So
I am also not a huge Family Guy fan. I feel it always goes for cheap humor or parodies or easy jokes. And so I can't imagine if it's an hour and a half Family Guy, I'm out. I'm sure I've offended all of the Family Guy fans out there. I do happen to like the Star Wars parodies that they do, because those are straight just parodies. But I feel like Family Guy is sort of this, it's funny, I'm going to describe it as ADD comedy, which is kind of like how I talk. But yeah, no, it's sort of, it just, for some reason, I don't get the same, that was an amazing episode that I get when I see something like a Simpsons or, like a Metalocalypse or other animated shows that I'm a fan of. Family Guy, for some reason, just I've never been able to connect to it. And other people swear by it. And you know what? This is the thing. It doesn't mean because I'm not into it that you also can't be into it. And you know what? That doesn't make you wrong. My disliking it doesn't make you wrong for liking it. I feel like that should just be a blanket statement from, you're allowed to have opinions about things. I think people are afraid to sometimes. They don't want to offend. This is just, I have my taste is, look, I think a lot of people have my taste, and there's people who don't, and then we all live in the world together. What can I say? Yeah, I like the Star Wars parodies probably because of Family Guy, because I like Star Wars. That's why I like them. Okay, so this next thing on Who Charted is they play a game at the end of the show with their special guest, and they ask them questions about themselves. I was a bit confused about it, but it's mildly entertaining. Back to Who Charted.
Drop another ball.
Drop another ball.
Yeah. All right. This is related or unrelated to me? Is what
I think it might be related to you, but I don't know anything.
Sounds like you already dropped.
That was a bad drop.
It's okay.
Whoa, where's it go? Oh.
All right, we are looking for the top places for eagles to learn.
Top places for eagles to learn.
Top places for eagles to learn.
This might be a little harder, right,
wow,
Howard?
This is...
They get progressively more difficult.
Wow. Top places for eagles. Philadelphia? I don't know. It's a football reference. I don't know. What?
You're not allowed to go, what?
What?
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Do you know...
What you might eat? The
Eagles.
Are you on it? What happened? Our hint system just derailed. This is a place where you might go early in the morning with books in your hand.
Library? No, not library.
A library could be in this.
Yeah, you might be forced to go each day.
Oh, what? So, wait, school? College? Wayne State University? I don't know. That's for Michigan?
Maybe before that. Maybe...
Kimball High School? Jane Addams Junior High?
What is Kimball's former name?
Kimball, it's Dondero.
Congratulations.
Right.
Good score.
Wow,
and that eagle was Glenn Fry of the Eagles.
Oh, that's...
That's tough.
That was a hard one.
That was a tough one.
We should have given you that. Did you know he went there?
I did not know that. Wow, he went to the same... So he went to Dondero. I went to Kimball, but I think that they actually merged the schools after I left.
Oh, okay. So that was why it was tougher.
Yes, it was. Eagles. My best friend is a big Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I thought...
Ooh.
Oh, maybe we interviewed your best friend.
Maybe you saw me on Facebook wearing a hat. I don't know.
Go ahead and drop another
Let's do
ball.
it. Yeah.
Okay, you're 1 for 1. You're 1 and 1.
Whoa.
We're looking for the top TV stations inspired by Battleship.
Top TV stations. G4.
There it is. Excellent job. You were on Attack of the Show.
Yes.
You enjoy that?
I do. I've been on there for 7 years, and when I first started there, I said I didn't audition. They just knew me from doing other TV, and I said, "Look, I've got 3 things. I'm going to do this DVD movie segment. I get to wear whatever I want within reason, and they let me. I get to say whatever I want. I can't swear. Although I found out I can mispronounce swear words. Like I can say, this person is a total shatheed. And that's legal to say on live TV.
That's good to know.
Shatheed.
Shatheed. The third thing I said was, and I get to keep all the DVDs I review. And they said, well, we can give you the first 2. We just can't let you keep all the DVDs. We need them for our library. But I think the executive producers wanted to just hang on to
some power.
I was looking to get look, you're not paying me much money to do this. I just want some free DVDs. Is that too much to ask? But I did wear a shirt on the air once that said, I heart your vagina. Which was on Valentine's Day, and they wouldn't let me wear it. And I argued. I said, vagina is a medical term. It's also a song. A friend of mine in this band called Get Set Go has this song called I Love Your Vagina. Yeah, it's
weird. They're real messed up about that word.
It's just having
stupid.
Yeah, I mean we've all done the TV here. It's weird. I think the weirder rules are fun.
Are you gonna? When's your mun move? When are you gonna
When I'm gonna pull a mun?
Yeah.
It could happen. It could happen. I love that you. It could happen anytime. Like I've been working on some other projects for a while. It's once one of those hits, I'll be gone. But I love what I'm doing now. It's I really cannot complain. I go in, a couple times a week. They ask me to watch movies I already want to watch. I work with hot girls,
ladies,
who they like me even though they're not paid to. We get along.
Showbiz, baby.
Exactly. And so I don't know. I feel like it's a fun. I feel really lucky. But yeah, I feel like now I need to grow up and get a real job. I wonder. I should talk to Mun. She's doing that newsroom thing now.
Yeah,
right.
Talk to her.
Serious. It's
right,
very thinky.
Toss another bowl.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that was...
Ooh, bouncy.
Bouncy bounce. Ooh. Man. Okay. The top forms of hybrid entertainer.
Ooh, Nerd-lebrity.
Boom!
I know.
Wow.
Did you coin that?
I coined that years ago because when I would do I had a manager at the time. It's like, you write, but then you do this thing, but then you do on camera this, but then it's like, you know what? I'm just a nerd-lebrity because I'm not known, but in the geek world, if I walk through Comic-Con, it's the only time I feel like I know what it's like to be a rock star. Nice. People want, and I will have to dress, if I want to shop seriously, I will dress in something where it's like, you don't see my hair, and I'll wear a mask, and I just walk around and shop, and people still will find me. They'll still go, Chris Gore, can I take a picture with you? And it's after a while, it's like, and I first of all, I love that people want to do that, but it's also, I also want to buy comics too. Sure. I want to buy stuff.
What about Harry Knowles? Who gets more?
Well, he's
Harry's married. Harry's married. You're going to say more?
No.
Or just more nerd action?
He's
nerd
on
action?
his little sled.
Yeah.
Sled? The guy's on a sled?
No, I mean, why can't I say
he's in a wheelchair.
rascal. He's in a rascal.
He's in a rascal or a...
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's a heavyset dude, so...
But we're I don't know.
He's redheaded, so...
If there was the Avengers of nerds, I'd say that he would be on... I would probably end up being Aqualad, but I think that,
Posehn would be in there.
Posehn would be in there. Hardwick probably.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got to be there. He'd be Batman or Superman.
Kevin
Smith, definitely. But I would definitely be something with the word lad attached to it. Aqualad.
Nerd lad.
Yeah, nerd lad. I think for Comic-Con next year I'm going to go as Nerd Lad, but I actually think this year I went as Captain Fun. If you see my photos on Facebook, if you go to facebook.com/PodCRASH, you'll see that I posted a gallery of photos from Comic-Con, from the drive down. We have this giant car magnet that we throw on the side of the car, and that car will be parked in front of all the venues where we do the live PodCRASH shows. So, but I really want to thank Howard and Kulap for they were just so great. I mean, they were so cool to me. I always look at people's on and off camera demeanor, and they're like when they're still the same as they are on audio as off audio. So we were just hanging out, and then it's like, oh, we're recording now. They're great. So you should be listening to their podcast all the time. You can go to earwolf.com. You can also find them on iTunes. There's a Who Charted on Facebook, and actually Kulap has a Tumblr with pictures, kulap.tumblr.com, and you can follow them both at Howard Kremer. It's spelled Kremer, Kremer. I believe it's pronounced Kramer because that's what he called himself. And then Kulap on Twitter is also just Kulap. So check them out. I want to thank you guys again for listening this week. I apologize about the voice. I will be back. I'll be back in prime form after I consume gallons and gallons of liquid. That's what I'm going to need to get rehydrated. And we have some amazing upcoming shows. Oh, you are going to be super excited. Oh, yeah, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at PodCRASH Show. Follow me at that Chris Gore. And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PodCRASH. Go to iTunes, and why don't you just give us a 5-star review? That helps people discover the show. And I have one last thing to say, and it's related to something that I'm going to be doing later. And I know a lot of you are going to be doing it. And I'm not going to talk about it until maybe next week because I don't want... I'm avoiding the internet because of this. Anyways, the internet and I are broken up. I broke up with the internet, and we're not speaking until I experience this one final thing. Let's get out of here.
Speaking of which, you know how I got these scars?
No, but I know how you got these.
Couldn't let me go, could you? This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You truly are incorruptible, aren't you? Huh? You won't kill me out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness. And I won't kill you because you're just too much fun.
Hey, if you're still listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're going to see The Dark Knight Rises, and you're avoiding the internet because you don't want to see spoilers. And you're probably going to stay through the end credits of The Dark Knight Rises, and then you're going to be so pumped you're going to want to talk about it for hours after. I like you. We're a lot alike. And for that, you shall be rewarded. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036. I will return the envelope with a surprise. And the first person to reply to @PodCRASH Show and say, let's get out of here, will get 2 free tickets to our August 18th show at IO West. That's Saturday, August 18th. You have to live in the LA area or be here to claim your said tickets and show a picture ID. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know what else? I've also got a bonus piece of audio here from Who Charted that I thought was kind of entertaining. Later. My personal opinion about it is I hate rating systems. I think that rating systems it's personal taste. It's also, I've always been forced to give it a 1 to 10 rating or a stars or thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down, by the way, is owned by Roger Ebert. He actually owns that. You can't use that. And then he even has with 2 thumbs way up like that. He has a whole chart. But I don't like ranking things ranking systems because I feel they do change over time. Does it hold up in retrospect? Does it, so I've always not enjoyed that.
But if you had to have one, maybe
I had to have one.
The hair.
My hair,
three
yes.
Hairs
fully erect. That would be my hair thing.